Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Chris, and you're watching my video podcast of being a father. If that title sounds familiar, it's because I have an actual podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcast where it's titled Being a Father, where we actually talk about parenting advice. But this one, for you guys that don't know, is mainly just a video version of that where you can see me, you can kind of see what's going on in my life. It's almost like a day in life, kind of. So for you guys that are not familiar with the podcast, I highly encourage you guys to go check it out. I just started that podcast, I would say about maybe a month ago. But yeah, check it out, see what it's about. So like I said, it's about parenting, my experience parenting, some of the things I've learned, some tips I give, and just some hot topics we talk about in regards to parenting. If you don't know, my name is Chris. I have a wife. She doesn't like to be in these, but maybe one of these days we can convince her to join and you guys can actually meet her one time, but we'll see. We have two kids. Our son is 4, about to be 5, and then our daughter, who's 4 months. My son is actually from a previous relationship, which I go over all this stuff in the podcast. So if you kind of want more of an in-depth kind of background on all this stuff, definitely hop over to the podcast and start from the first episode, the introduction, all the way through, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. But yeah, so my son, we have him, I would say about 50% of the time. He spends most of the week at his mom's, and we get him a couple days at the end of the week, like Thursday, Fridays, and then on the weekends, we kind of split it. And obviously, my daughter is with my wife, so she's always here. We don't split anything with her because we're still together. So in the podcast, I definitely talk about the differences between, going through being a single father and split households versus married and having, our daughter, and the differences between having a child when you're married to somebody versus, not. So in case you guys don't know, like I said, if you guys haven't jumped into the podcast yet, I work in law enforcement. I'm a police officer. My wife is a stay-at-home mom. She's working in the medical field, but once our daughter was born, we kind of started balancing out the pros and cons of her going back to work based upon how much she got paid and how much daycare was. And daycare is expensive, so we decided for her to just stay home, which has worked out great. So we're doing the whole one income thing. I have a whole episode on the podcast regarding like budgeting and money and how we got to that decision and how it's going for us. But long story short, it's going very well. We've talked about the podcast a little bit. So like I said, please jump on over there, take a look at that if you have time. Definitely follow it if it's something you're interested in. I would definitely appreciate that. But like I said, this video podcast is more so just basically about my life and my family's life and things that we do on a daily basis. Now, I'm not going to be dropping videos every day, but every now and then, every couple of days, I'll drop a video and kind of recap over everything we did. If there's anything, obviously the main podcast is about parenting. So if there's anything I want to discuss or go over as far as parenting goes, we'll definitely dive into that and kind of go over that type of stuff. But basically, just so, jumping right on into it. Today is Monday, and actually go back to work today. I had the weekend off. So I work like either 4 11s or 3 12s. And then I have either 3 or 4 days off. So I just got off for 3 days. We're having 3 days off. And I'm about to be 3 days on, and I'll have 4 days off. But during my time off, it was actually my father-in-law's birthday. And we went over to some family's house, and we had barbecue pork, and we had macaroni and cheese, and we had salad and all that stuff. I actually tried those little buzz balls for the first time. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. You get them at the gas station, about this big. Now they have the massive ones, and I heard they're really good. They were okay. The jalapeno pineapple one was by far the best one, but I probably won't buy them again. I like whiskey and bourbon. I'm not big on buzz balls and stuff, but it was worth a shot, and I tried it because I heard a lot of good things about it. It just really wasn't for me, if that makes sense. But no, it was a lot of fun. Good to see family. We brought the baby. Obviously, everyone loved to see the baby. Our baby. My son went. Everyone loved seeing him, and it was just a lot of fun. I also built like this little battery operated like buggy thingy. I don't have it over here to show you guys, but it's like based off. It's like you don't. It's not with Legos, but it's like with actual metal pieces. So you have to use like a Phillips head screwdriver, and you have like screws and all that stuff. So it was great. I built it with my son, but I built it. He kind of watched and played with the pieces, and I keep telling him not to drop it so we don't lose it. But if you ask him, he's gonna say he helped, which is cool. But yeah, we built that, and it has like a little battery spot where you can put a battery in. It runs, and the dogs chase it. I also have two dogs, by the way. I have a German Shepherd and a Springer Spaniel. But they were chasing it and whatnot, and my son was riding it in the walls, and I kept telling him, don't do that because he's going to break it, and then I'll have to rebuild it. But he got it for Christmas from his grandparents, and he actually has 4 of them. We just built one of them, so we'll probably build the next ones. It was a little later, but it was a lot of fun. It definitely took a long time to build. The pieces were like that big. They're really tiny. I think it was some like 180 something pieces involved, and it was, yeah. But yeah, we did that, and then wrapping up the weekend, we went to a fundraiser for my son's baseball team. So it's his second year in T-ball, and they had this big fundraiser thing. We went to that. It was a spaghetti and bingo thing. Spaghetti was like $5, bingo was another $5, and we all went. All the money goes towards like helping with maintain the field, the coaches, the snack shack to supply with all the candy and stuff the kids don't need but they buy anyways. That's overly priced. So it goes to that. So it was a good cause, and we had a lot of fun. I did not win bingo at all, so it kind of sucked. But the money went to a good cause. But anyway, yeah, that was pretty much the weekend. Like I said, go back to work tonight. I work around 6 p.m. and get off at 6 a.m. So it's a long 12-hour shifts. These 12 hours kill me. I'm not a big fan of them, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'm about to go get some sleep because I have to get rested for work because I don't want to be tired. I'll be hopped up on energy drinks all night, and I'll probably be hopped up on energy drinks anyways. But yeah, besides that, I hope you will subscribe to the YouTube channel. I know it's the first episode. It's just an introduction. There's not much, to it. But I'm sure you'll love the future episodes as they come out. Like I said, I'm going to try and do them as things pop up. Definitely during my days off, I'll be dropping episodes and videos. The podcast will definitely be coming regardless. Like the audio one where you guys can actually follow that on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That'll definitely continue coming. I think I drop those about almost every day. I'll probably move into every other day to kind of let the podcast breathe a little bit. Now that I've kind of pounded it in since I first started. But yeah, definitely subscribe on here if you like, if you're interested and want to hear me talk. Don't know why you'd want to do that. But yeah, if you decide to, that'd be awesome. Definitely try and follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I believe the link is in the About Me section for this channel. So definitely click on those, check those out. If you enjoy what we talk about in there, please follow and like the videos or like the episodes and whatnot. And then last but not least, I do have an Instagram and a TikTok. My Instagram is for the podcast channel. It's being.a.father37. And the TikTok is a personal page. It has nothing to do really with the actual podcast channel or the YouTube podcast channel. It's mainly just my personal page. But feel free to follow that if you want to. It's County Mountie1, COUNTY MOUNTIE, and the number 1. So besides that, I look forward to talking to you guys soon. It's been fun. I will see you guys later. Bye.